Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hello there, it's Mike Matthews. It's dang early. I got to, find out late last night.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That I was coming in early today, and here I am. Last show is called Dreams. That's also a Fleetwood Mac song. It's not my favorite one, but Stevie Nicks can sing it, and she can't do wrong. Well, actually, she can do really wrong. But she inspired a lot of great music. Did you know that Don't Come Around Here No More by Tom Petty is because of her? You should use the Wikipedia. It'll tell you the answer.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Yes, and I'm going to record this part of the show onto the YouTube because I know
Mike's
the kids today,
Daily
they like to see middle-aged
Podcast.
bald dudes talk.
Yeah!
A big congratulations out to my friend Katie. I haven't seen her in a long time, but she just had her baby, and I thought she was going to have a daughter. Guess what? She had a son. I was wrong. How did that happen? But congratulations out to her. My mom always said she was glad she had a son. Isn't that the nicest thing when a parent says something like that? You should have been a girl. But no, she doesn't say that. So I think parents sometimes should keep their opinions to themselves. Oh, you made me cry so much last night. Defunct TV. I finished up your series on Jim Henson. How dare you make me cry like a baby? Oh, so sad. Well, if you want to see something sad and beautiful, it would be Jim Henson's funeral. Do you remember what year he passed away? He passed away in 1990. That's how long ago it's been. And it was over some ridiculous thing. He had pneumonia, basically, and he could have been cured with a little bit of penicillin. So sad. So the video that I watched at Defunct TV did about Jim Henson went into that a little bit and did one of these sort of...
And here's today's podcast picture.
Parallel storytelling thing where they talked about the funeral, and at the same time they talked about his making a deal with Michael Eisner at Disney about, joining Muppets and Disney and getting paid big time for that and having Disney distribute all the Muppet stuff. And at the same time was talking about how there was a special done after Jim Henson died that included all the Muppets. And they're all talking about, hey, who's this guy, Jim Henson? And the Muppets had no idea who he was. And then they find out at the end that he died. Yeah, it was sad. Made Basil cry too. So it was just... The funeral was beautiful because all of his close friends and family said beautiful things about him. That's always nice. It was in a beautiful church in New York. And then they sang songs that that had been attributed to... he didn't write them, but they were songs that had something to do with the Muppets in some way, like on Sesame Street or the Muppet Show or the Muppet Movies or whatever. Fraggle Rock. Don't forget about Fraggle Rock. He had a lot to do. I forgot that was on HBO. I didn't realize. I wasn't really watching too much TV at that point because I was getting into high school and all that. But the songs, Easy Being Green. It's Not Easy Being Green. What was that other one? If one person believes in you strong enough, da-da-da, believes in you, and all that. And that was really Jim Henson. He believed in people and got people like Frank Oz, who moved on to become a huge director, and all these other people in his life. He would believe in them, and they would rise to these fantastic careers. In the creative world, you need people believing in you. In any world, in the business world, in your world, you need someone believing in you. So just the amount of love that they had for him, and they sang it. And then all these Muppets came out, all the Muppeteers came out. Just was very moving. So, and a couple times, because this is not done by some huge network or movie studio or something. This documentary that was on YouTube was done by a fan and his little team. And the voiceover, the guy who started Defunct TV, he's like in Defunct Land. He's like, his voice is cracking as he's reading some of the stuff that happened during the funeral. It was great. One of the reasons why I like YouTube. Maybe you listen to this show on YouTube. Perhaps you listen to this show or watching this little thing I'm doing right now on YouTube and going, wow, that was really worth my time clicking on that little play button. I could be going over and watching Honest Trailers. Now that's some fun stuff. Yeah, go do that. That's a little bit better. So, Mike's Daily Podcast today here at Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont today, the last place on earth. Cafe Anyway. Anyway. I might have embarrassed myself a little bit last show by not knowing anything about that Supreme Court decision. I'm not a lawyer. My paycheck would look a lot different if I was a lawyer. But I do know the Democrats are pushing for a health bill, and the GOP is saying no. Democrats pushed a package expanding Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act coverage. And then the NASCAR has canceled the Champions Week and Cup Series awards in Nashville. And then who's it? Oh, Mike Pompeo is talking with Taliban leader amid this Russian bounty scandal. Russian paying Taliban guys to take out U.S. military, which the Trump administration is saying, that's not who, we don't really know. U.S. President Donald Trump faces mounting pressure to explain why he did nothing after being reportedly told that Russian spies had offered and paid cash to Taliban-linked militants for killing American soldiers. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. The New York Times, citing anonymous officials, had reported last week that Trump had been told. But Trump's like, no, that's fake news.
You are fake news. Fake news. Fake news.
And then, of course, because it's about Russia, I have to play the Trump-Russia one.
I say it's better to get along with Russia than not.
There we go. Okay, I think I... Hey, have I talked about the podcast picture yet today? Oh, it's a doozy. It's a good one. It's Mike taking another... Oh, by the way, the Google Photos logo has changed. Yeah, it's no longer like that little, what do you call it? Like a windmill you would make with paper. It's now some weird thing. It's like a little, what is that? Is it like a little windmill thing? Is that what that is? I can't tell. Okay. Anyway, that's Cafe Anyway. What we got here is the podcast picture today, which is going to be
Anyway
so good that I'm going to tell you what it is here on episode 2076. Let's see. Why don't we take one for my lovely lady friend's trip? She's up at Mount Shasta. This is something, I think she was like it looks like she's looking at the mountain there. Or it's a view of the mountain. You need to, oh, no. This is Lake Siskiyou. Let's go with that one. Oh, that's a beautiful picture. Oh, that water looks so great. I want to jump in. See that picture at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Little beach there, little mountain beach. Mountain lake beaches are so awesome. Look who's outside of Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. Let's say hi to some people. Oh my God, he's a Chely Shoehart gift shop supervisor. Oh my God, that's such a beautiful picture. I want to go there right now, Mike Matthews. Are you selling a lot of snow globes? Yes, Mike Matthews. You know, I don't know why we talk about snow globes outside of Christmas, but I guess people, I mean, they're huge around Christmas time, but of course the interesting thing about your snow globes is that they are exploding snow globes. No, they're not, Mike Matthews. Mike Matthews. They are? Okay. Then never mind. What happened just there? I don't know, Mike Matthews. I'm embarrassed.
Oh, my.
Look who else is out here. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. and this is John Deere, the engineer, Mike. You shouldn't be embarrassed uploading pictures to YouTube, because I believe in you, Mike Matthews. I believe in you. Oh, that's so nice. You make me feel important.
I'm very important.
Awesome. Everyone needs someone believing in them, right?
Right.
That's right. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. What do you think about the Supreme Court decisions? The Justice Roberts guy. Conservatives are mad at him. But then I heard Hugh Hewitt, a conservative talk show host today, say, no, he hasn't gone full liberal. He's still... It's the media thing. It's all the ducks get in a row and go quack, quack, quack. As Hugh was pointing out a couple things that Justice Roberts did that were very conservative. I don't know any of this stuff. Can I stop talking about it now? Because it's about the law. And it's only this time of year when the Supreme Court hands down these decisions that we actually care about this stuff. But yes, it's usually groundbreaking, isn't it? And I will break up this show. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. And you can find out more about this show and see the podcast picture at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Take it away, A-Frame!
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com.
Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!